Two girls, two movements, two global icons. One survived a bullet in the head, the other held a cardboard sign. It has the uncomfortable truth. The global fame says less about who they are and more about what we crave. Simple symbols in a world terrified of complex change. Malala and Greta didn't just become heroes, we turned them into products. I'm Mahin Mustafa, and this is The American Side. And let's talk about the price of activism.
American Side.
Two young women from two very different corners of the world stepped into global spotlight they never asked for and could never fully control. Both became symbols. And symbols, once released into the world, take on lives of their own. Malala Yousafzai, a child in the Swat Valley, writing under a pseudo name, documenting girls' education under Taliban rule.
Who can speak to me and who can tell me what's happening there. So I started blogging for BBC. I used to talk to him on phone every night. I have rights. I have the right of education. I have the right to play. I have the right to sing. I have the right to talk. I have the right to go to market. I have the right to speak up. I will get my education if it is in home, school, or any place. What's really?
Then the attack. A moment that changed her life and the global narrative on Pakistan. But behind the heroic arc, there are whispers that never made the West's headlines. And the question lingered. Why Malala? Why this girl? Why not the other hundreds and thousands of girls that are fighting the same fight?
So I thought that I must be a politician to save this country.
Why did you change this dream?
Because there are so many crises in our country, so I want to remove these crises and to save my country.
Greta Thunberg, a solitary figure outside the Swedish parliament with a hand-painted sign. Within months, her Fridays for Future movement became a global force.
We are a group of young people who are blocking entrances to the Swedish parliament, the Riksdag, to protest against the ongoing destruction of our life-supporting systems and of people already being killed as a result of the climate crisis, and that needs to come to an end. We have had enough.
The bad news, however, is that around the year 2030, if we continue with business as usual, we will likely be in a position where we may pass a number of tipping points. And then we might no longer be able to undo the irreversible climate breakdown.
Her early protests were amplified by the Swedish PR tech firm We Don't Have Time, whose founder had a financial stake in climate communication. They withdrew from an outcry. Malala, the courage and the counter-narratives. Her work has funded schools. Her voice has reshaped global conversations. Her foundation has changed lives. But the backlash is real and growing. In Pakistan's polarized landscape, critics call her a symbol packaged for Western consumption. The grateful Muslim girl who validates Western ideals of liberation. Her memoir, I'm Malala, faced bans in elite Pakistani schools. Not for violence, but for language conservatives call too Western or not differential enough to the Pakistani establishment. Now let's talk about the Vogue interview firestorm. Her comments questioning whether marriage is necessary sparked outrage, insults, and even religious condemnation. She clarified, but the backlash revealed a deep cultural fracture. Now her latest book tour, Malala's new book, Finding My Way, has triggered fresh criticism. In Pakistan, commentators accused her of glossing over political repression at home, leaning into the global humanitarian celebrity tone and staying silent on issues like drone warfare or US foreign policy, and avoiding positions that might endanger her Western partnerships. Meanwhile, the Global South feminists questioned why her book prioritized universal girl power messaging and did really talk about structural critique of colonialism, militarism, or even capitalism. Her supporters say that she was choosing diplomacy over division, and her critics say that she was choosing safety over the truth. Greta's voice brought moral fire into the climate politics. Her rallies drew millions. Her debates and speeches shook the world leaders. But that fire has sparked a pushback. Now let's talk about the How Dare You speech divide. Some call it iconic, Others, including climate scientists, worry that apocalyptic framing damages long-term trust in scientific messaging. And we also have the global South tensions. Greta's call for immediate fossil fuel phase-out resonates in Europe, but in Africa, South Asia, and parts of Latin America, the response has been sharper. They say it's easy to demand degrowth when your country is already developed. Then the selective outrage accusations. Greta condemns Western leaders with fire, but is quieter on China's emissions or the environmental impacts of cobalt mining in Congo. Critics say she's strategically silent to protect alliances. Supporters say a teenage activist isn't obligated to solve geopolitics. And then, of course, there was the German police controversy. Footage of a calm detention during a coal mine protest went viral and then backfired when video showed her laughing with police moments before. Right-wing media called it staged. Police denied it, but the narrative stuck. Greta's bluntness inspires millions and alienates millions more. There's an uncomfortable truth behind both the stories. The world doesn't elevate activists. It elevates symbols. Symbols that fit Western media's preference for innocence, youth, and simplicity. That can be packaged into a TED Talk, make donors feel hopeful. Meanwhile, the brown, black, indigenous activists and the global South climate activists that are challenging and confronting Western emissions or the Western corporations rarely get the same microphone. Malala and Greta are courageous. Their stories matter and their impact is real. But they are a reminder that this world loves symbols. Symbols they can celebrate, market, or even hide behind. Real change, well, that demands power, persistence, and policy. And those kind of activists are rarely seen on magazine covers. Malala and Greta's fame tells us more about global media's need for marketable heroes than it does about real structural change. So my question for you is, are Malala and Greta symbols for change or a distraction from it? Be honest and share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Mahin Mustafa, and you've been watching The American Side. Until next time.